everyone, it's Kayla, and today I'm doing my February through June comic wrap-up. Basically, I haven't been reading that much this year. I don't know what it is. I haven't been writing either. What else is new? I just haven't been reading or in the mood to read at my normal pace, so let's just jump right into the wrap-up. It's going to be long enough. So here come the comics that I've read since February. So I read the first 3 volumes of The Wicked and the Divine. This is a comic about gods disguised as celebrities. They come down to Earth and they only have 2 years to live, and the mystery behind that, and this girl who follows them essentially as their #1 fan. A lot of people don't like this. A lot of people think it's confusing and the storyline's confusing. However, I actually really liked it. I didn't find it too hard to understand. I know it jumps around quite a bit, but basically I'm used to comics being like that. You know, they give you information, you wonder what the heck is that, and then later on it explains it. I feel like that sums up the entire comic reading experience. I believe I gave Volume 1 4 stars. Volume 2 was definitely 5 stars. That ending just blew me away and left me hanging, and I immediately ordered the 3rd one. I ended up giving the 3rd one only 2.5 stars. It was such a letdown coming after the 2nd volume, and it talked about nothing relating to the cliffhanger ending of the 2nd one, and each issue was actually drawn and created by a different artist, and it's great that they had guest artists. I have nothing against them. However, it was just jarring to see different styles in one volume. The art is just so vibrant and colorful, and it's one of the things that I love most about the series. So to have guest artists for the 3rd volume, I'm not sure how wise of a choice that was. So then I read the first 2 volumes of Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire. This comic is a post-apocalyptic comic that takes place after this plague riddles the earth, and basically once this plague hits, every child born after that is an animal-human hybrid. And basically the series follows Gus, who is one of those hybrids. He's grown up in the woods. He knows nothing about the outside world. Then things happen and he's thrown into this world, and it just goes from there. I honestly wasn't sure about the art style at first. It's very dark and dismal. However, it fits the setting really well. I know Mari from My Name is Marina has talked about that a lot in her video about Sweet Tooth, and I definitely agree that it fits the setting and the story perfectly. I really appreciated that in the 2nd volume we learn about Jeopard, his backstory and his motivations, and we understand him a bit better, and I can't wait to see where the story goes. I believe I gave the first one 4 stars and the 2nd one 5 stars. I also read Paper Girls Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan. Brian K. Vaughan is one of my favorite comic writers. Obviously, I love Saga. I love Why the Last Man. We'll get to that in a little bit. It takes place back in the 80s. It's about these girls who are paper girls. They deliver the newspaper, and then all of a sudden, boom, pretty much D-Day with alien hits, like while they're delivering stuff, and they have to figure out what's going on. There's interesting turn of events in this series. You don't know whether it's aliens or people from the future or magic, and not even magic, but future technology perceived as magic. I really appreciated that angle a lot. Even though it was a great setup, it still lacked a little bit, but I feel like future volumes will be much, much better, and I am here for it. And this is what the art style looks like. I actually really like that it's purple and pink hued. I think that's really fascinating. I think I gave this volume 4 stars. It's a great setup for the rest of the series. I was going to give it 3 stars, but then an element of time travel was introduced, and I'm all about time travel. So then I read Birthright Volume 2. This story is about a little boy who disappears, and he goes to a fantasy land to grow up to be the savior of that world. He comes back to this world as a full-grown man. However, only 1 year has passed. So it just snowballs from there, and you know, his enemies from the fantasy world are coming over to find him, and then he has to deal with the repercussions of the decisions he made in that fantasy world. Meanwhile, his parents and the government are involved, obviously, so it's definitely really interesting. It's fantasy. I'm loving it, and this is what the art looks like. So then I read Lumberjanes Volume 2. This is just such a fun, refreshing break from all the serious shit that I read. It's about girls at a summer camp just going through crazy adventures, and I love the artwork, and it's written by Noelle Stevenson, who did Nimona, and I loved Nimona. I mean, look at that coloring. It just screams at you. And I just love the female friendship aspect of this series, and I gave this 4 stars. So then I found and read a new favorite series, and that is definitely Giant Days. Giant Days is just about 3 roommates in college going through life's daily struggles and coming to terms with their identity and the things that you experience in college, and it's just so heartwarming, hilarious, and emotional at times, and so relatable. And this is what the art looks like. It's colorful, clean cut, and I really appreciate that a lot. I just enjoy this series so much. The really interesting thing to me about this series is that in the volume itself, there's not an overall arc, and I feel like a lot of comic series do the overall arc in the one trade, but this is more like snapshots of college life. All of the characters have unique personalities, and I am just loving this series, and I gave both of these 5 stars. So then I continued to read Y the Last Man. I read Deluxe Edition Volume 3 and Deluxe Edition Volume 4. These 2 installments combine volumes 5 through 8 of the series, so I only have 1 deluxe edition left to get, 9 and 10, and that comes out in August, and I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to see how this story ends. Basically, it's about a man named Yorick, who is the only male survivor of a plague that kills everything with a Y chromosome. Animals, plants, everything is dead that's male, except for him and his pet monkey. I love the twists and turns that I don't see coming in these installments. Since there's only 2 volumes left, I am so attached to the characters now. I can't wait to see how everything gets resolved in the Deluxe Edition Volume 5, and I'm just hoping that it's not as heartbreaking as I'm guessing it's going to be. I love the way that humanity is questioned in this series and how relationships form under dire circumstances, and I'm just appreciating all these elements about living in a post-apocalyptic world, and also a world where extinction is quite possible since there's only 1 male left, so I'm really digging this series. Brian K. Vaughan is just a master storyteller. I can't even... So good. So good. 5 stars apiece. And last, but certainly not least, I read I Hate Fairyland Volume 1. This fucking comic, guys. Like... whoa. This series is about a girl who gets sent to Fairyland, and all she has to do to get home is find this key, and it can be anywhere inside the land, okay? And it flashes to like 20-some years later. She's still the little girl, but she's aged in her mind, so she's this cynical, evil little thing in this child's body, and she is just killing people and taking names across this whole land trying to find this key. And guys, when I say this is gory, like, wow. And this is what the art looks like, and it's just so gory, guys, but it's just humorous, and she's so cynical. When I first read this, I was like, what the fuck did I just read? But in the best way possible, and I just can't wait to see what happens in Volume 2 because of that ending. But yeah, I rated this 4 stars. It was just weird, but in a good way, and I definitely recommend it if you like comics and you like fairy tale type things. People say this is like Alice in Wonderland meets Deadpool, and I can definitely see that comparison, so yeah, 4 stars. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Let me know below if you've read any comics lately. Let me know below which one sounds the most interesting to you, or if you read any of these, and I will see you all soon with another video. Bye!